Toku Secrets is a podcast run by the Anime Secrets website. Check us out at animesecrets.org for more anime, video game, tokusatsu content. Remember to follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or wherever you listen to podcasts today.
Hey everybody, it's Jason from Power Rangers Time Force, and you're watching Toku Secrets Podcast.
Welcome to Toku Secrets. Join us as we journey into the marvelous world of Super Sentai, Kamen Rider, Power Rangers, and many other tokusatsu. Get ready for the adventure of a lifetime. It's Morphin time! Link to the Morphin. I'm Nathan Desai, the dazzling adventurer, Boken Silver.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And we're Toku Secrets. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Toku Secrets Podcast, presented by animesecrets.org. I'm your host, Nathan Desai, Boken Silver.
And I'm Rizwan Merchant, Gokai Red.
And today, especially since our last podcast on this got a lot more attention than we were expecting, we are doing, us two are here to do episode 2 of the fan production Power Rangers Rail Riders, episode 2, which is called New Passenger. Before we get started on that, though, I just want to say we really appreciate everybody who's given us all that recognition. I mean, we managed to hit 1,000 subs on Anime Secrets on YouTube now. So yeah, we got a lot of feedback. Like, we just really appreciate that from everybody. We got, the people like Zenith Films is crew was in our live chat. I know that the actress who played Charlie, whose name escapes me at the moment, but she gave us a shout out on her personal Instagram. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we really appreciate that, guys.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to have the feedback, and just in general. I mean, like I said at the end of our last the podcast at the end of the year, I mean, we're humbled by the fact that this year we've grown, last year we've grown so much. And I'm looking to keep growing and hopefully not derail Nathan along the way.
Okay, yeah, I knew that was coming. I should have prepared myself, and yet I wasn't.
Choo-choo, all aboard the pun train.
So, to kind of sum up how the first episode was, so we have our 5 main characters. We have Marcus, who's red, Sanzoku, but we just call him San, blue, Charlie yellow, Gus green, and Faye pink. And they all find themselves battling against monsters from the Shadow Line, and then they arrive on the Rainbow Line where they meet the conductor and discover that they have the power to stop these people called the Shadow Line, who are literally called like evil train Nazis, according to Gus, which, I mean, that's putting it pretty good.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the rest of the episode just played out like pretty much similar to the first episode of toqger, where, they just fight off. Now, this episode takes footage. I'm not sure where the early fight footage is, which toqger episode that's taken from, but I do know that they take footage also from it's either 18 or 19, depending on which one it depends on which one has the first appearance of the build Reisha, or whatever Akira Zord was called in toqger. So we're jumping ahead quite a bit, but the way that this episode is called New Passenger, and the toqgers, our Rangers, sorry.
The Rail Riders?
The Rail Riders. They're going around and they're looking for they're looking for their 6th Ranger. But then one of the villains, who has the exact same name as his Sentai counterpart, General Schwartz, shows up, and he's trying to get the Rangers to take him to the Rainbow Line, and he actually captures Marcus after we get an unmorphed fight scene, as well as a brief scene, and this is where we can officially call this thing Power Rangers. There's a point where General Schwartz defeats Marcus and like stomps down on him, where like Marcus is like pinned to the ground by him, and it wouldn't be Power Rangers without these weird transitions. They actually transition it good until there's a point where the Blue Ranger, San, shows up, and you can briefly see Wright's head in the shot when Marcus like leans up. It's like, I mean, that's happened in the past.
Yeah.
Like in that episode of Super Mega Force, All Hail Prince Vakar, where Noah's fighting Argus and he like slashes Argus. In the original airing of that, you could literally see Joe's hair in the shot. So
I'm glad you
I
noticed that
mean,
as well, because I saw it on my most recent viewing of episode 2, just now, that,
yeah.
oh look, that's Wright's head in the background. But it's funny, it goes back to these guys are pulling Saban level stuff out in a good way,
hmm
and I really am here for it.
So Marcus gets captured, and he's trying to lead General Schwartz away. General Schwartz actually has a human form in here, so that we can transition him to like original footage, which is fine because I'll be honest, General Schwartz was actually kind of a half decent villain in toqger. Like, if I made a list of villains that deserved a human form, he wouldn't be number one. Number one would either be Baragira from Go Sager or the current guy who's the main villain in King Oger.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but Dog Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would be one. But General Schwartz is another guy who I think would have benefited heavily from a human form.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, he was pretty interesting. So I'm glad that they give him a human form here. We're introduced to our sixth ranger who just kind of shows up on the rainbow line. His name is Tomas, and he pretty much has the same backstory as Akira. He was a monster whose name was Zarum, and he could create rain, and he ruined people's days by making rain. And then one day he saw a rainbow, and he was seeking redemption. And yeah, Tomas is played perfectly like Akira, where he has like this, like, where he's just so serious and somber, and I don't know, he's a serious character, but he's a comic relief in that he's like, I need to tell you about my backstory. I mean, everybody's all like,
we don't
yeah,
care about your backstory.
nobody cares.
But I mean, he kept trying to derail everything with the backstory. It was kind of great.
No. Okay, you just literally threw in a dump. Oh my god.
I mean, okay, so you should be happy that I held my tongue earlier, because I had another pun I was going to throw at you, but I decided not to.
Are you sure you don't want to change your podcast ID to Cure You Blue? Because
No, I'm good.
that would be much more fitting.
This is only happening because we're doing a toqger adaptation podcast.
Okay.
When we're back to Time Ranger and King Ozer, nah, we're good.
But yeah, and then pretty much the rest of this, Tomas goes and he frees Marcus from General Schwartz. Then they come together and they fight off a monster. And one thing that I actually like about this is that they use the footage. I'm pretty sure this was, I think this was from a toqger, the toqger episode. It was probably, I think it was 19. But there's a point where, and I actually remember this when I was watching toqger because it really confused me. There's a point where the Red Ranger tries to switch colors with Orange. He does that. They use that footage. In the original Sentai, there was no explanation given. It's just, oh, Tokyo Rokugo doesn't have to switch lines or anything. And I'm like, okay, that's weird, especially since Wright later does change to Orange in the last episode. But here they give an explanation that works perfectly given the more like campier tone that they're taking. Like the conductor is all like, oh, Orange is a real train. He's not powered by imagination like you guys. And it's like, okay, that given how this is almost meant to kind of be like a parody of toqger in a way, that explanation works. I don't know how to explain why it works, but it works. It's just perfect.
It does. And like, okay, so for me, it's, again, they're taking the toqger story, which honestly it's a skeleton, right? Like, There's a
Yeah.
lot of good stuff in toqger, don't get me wrong, but compared to this, Rail Riders takes a skeleton and fleshes it out and gives it a body.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is filling in the gaps of like stuff that we never got an answer to like this. And I mean, it's just very well thought out, and the story writing's pretty tight to be able to cover all those gaps while adapting the story more or less.
Yep. And then the episode ends with them defeating the monster, and I can't remember what they call the Megazord here, but it was the build. It was Tokyo Rokugo's main mech, which again I can't remember what
They
it was
called it
called.
the Rail Builder or something. Rail Build Megazord.
Okay, well that's fine.
Yeah.
I mean it's simple, but it works.
Yeah, and I mean, I like
And it,
I think one thing I like about that scene when they're doing the Megazord stuff, and it's the comment I have for the entirety of the series so far. They have really good banter between the characters. Like, they have some really funny one-liners in there. Like at one point when they're transforming into Megazord mode, I think it was Charlie who says, "I would buy this Megazord.
yeah, I remember that.
I would buy this toy." And then there's another line later where they say, "We're not Hasbro, we're Toei or something."
I mean, I get that they're adapting toqger, but this almost seems like Car Ranger level, considering it's clearly meant to be somewhat of a parody. Riz hasn't seen Car Ranger, but well, we're gonna take a look at Car Ranger at some point. But
At some point.
if you've seen Car Ranger, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Where they're just doing a complete parody of the whole Sentai genre,
They
which
they just punched holes in the fourth wall and I'm here for it, man. Especially
mhm.
when I think it was Faye who was asking why the script says to go to the quarry, and they respond back with budget cuts, we can't do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're really breaking the fourth wall, and I love every second of it.
And then it ends with them meeting conductor at the station, and they all vowed that they're going to fight, and then they do the typical where they put their hands together and say Power Rangers,
Yep.
and that's how the episode ends.
Yeah. I gotta say, this is a lot of fun, Nate. Like, I really enjoyed episode 2 of Rail Riders. There was just so much good storytelling, and again, the choreography of the fights were really top tier. Like, Tomas fighting off the human version of Swartz was really well done. I enjoyed every second of that. I like. I don't know what the monster of the week's name was, but I like that he had a human form as well for a little while.
Yeah.
Like, it gives this a deeper, like, I don't know if it's like a deeper connection, but it gives us like a deeper feeling for the villains. Like, they have a human form and they're more relatable in a way. So I think
Yeah.
that's pretty cool.
And I think one thing that I can't remember if they did this in the previous episode, but even if they did, we didn't talk about it in our previous podcast. The morphing
Oh yeah.
sequence, like it, honest to God, looks like they like the original footage that they shoot with them being surrounded by energy, like before they transition to the toqger footage.
Yeah.
That finished the morph, like that is some top. Honestly, like that's even better than some Power Ranger morphing sequences. Like they make their own original stuff. Like it, in some ways, you might be outdoing Saban in a way because like um, to mention a Power Ranger season that Riz is not a fan of, Power Rangers Wild Force. In that season, they just took the Gower Ranger footage, but they photoshopped the actors' heads onto the Gal Rangers'
Oh yeah, they
bodies.
did do that, didn't they?
Yeah, like so their efforts to make their own original morphing sequence is literally better than some Power Ranger seasons. And keep in mind, some people, for whatever reason, consider Wild Force to be part of the golden age of Power Rangers, which I don't, but some people do.
Nah.
Like, they're doing stuff better than some seasons that some would consider part of the golden age of Power Rangers, which we don't,
Yeah.
but you know what I mean.
I mean, the Golden Age ended the Time Force.
Yeah, it did.
But no, I definitely agree. Like they're so I looked into the company a little bit more, Xena Film Media, and they've been around for quite some time apparently. And they've been doing projects, not fan films obviously, but they've been doing their own short films for a very long time. And so I think that lends itself very well with what we're doing here, like to create this thing at the level that they have it at. Um, because again, like some of the transitions they transition, um, like from the forest, they have like the little mountainy thing in the background. You would never know that the mountainy thing was not in the original footage that they had.
Yeah,
And did you catch my pun,
totally.
Nate?
That time I didn't catch it.
I said transition.
Oh Lord. All these stupid train dad jokes, dude.
I snuck it in to see if you would catch it. When you didn't react, I was like, damn it, I have to actually call it out to you now. I was kind of proud of this one.
Yeah, well, that was a good one. I'm not gonna lie. um, but yeah, that's the main thing. But I mean, the main thing I just want to talk about is how they do like the original morphine sequence. Like, obviously, they have to. I mean, I get why they take some stuff with like Tokyo. Like, if I were to compare it to a morphing sequence, I would probably compare it to Time Force, where like you have their bodies surrounded by energy, then you cut away, and then
Yeah.
in the next shot, their morph forms are there. Like, I mean, it's kind of weird comparing it to Time Force because Time Force's morphing sequence is complete original footage, while here you have to cut to the toqger footage. But
Well,
I would say it's on par with the Time Force morphing sequence in terms of quality.
controversial take of the day, Nate. I actually think the Rail Rider morphing sequence is better than the Time Ranger morphing sequence.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that you didn't really like the CGI from that,
I
so
hated the CGI in
I
the
know.
Time Ranger one. It just bugs me that we're looking at like do you remember the original Doom game?
I think so.
Okay, the original Doom game was like in 1990 something. So the 3D rendering looks like it's something from the early 90s. So it's kind of difficult on the eye for me.
I mean, that's fair.
So no, I think they did better than that. And I mean, it looks good the way they did it. It looks seamless to me.
Yeah, completely seamless.
Yeah. Now, one thing that I realized while editing episode one's review, Nate, we didn't talk about the opening theme. And so I wanted to ask you, what do you think of it? Because that is an original song that they wrote.
Yeah, I thought. Yeah, it was a pretty good theme song. I mean, I I have to. I mean, I might have to go back and listen to it again to get like a full opinion on it. But I do remember when I watched it with the original, I liked it decently. I mean, I mean, it honestly seems a lot better than some Power Ranger theme songs today. Because I mean, the last Power Rangers theme song that I got like legitimate hype for, like that I really like to listen on its own is. I mean, I really, as sad as this sounds, it would probably have to be the Dino Charge theme
Yeah.
song, like
And
because
yeah, and that's really sad because the entirety of Hasbro's theme songs were not that great. And Hell, a lot of the Saban, like Neo Saban theme songs were not great either. I mean, I'm looking at you, Samurai and Megaforce.
Yeah, Dino Charge is the only Neo Saban era theme song that's actually good in
Yeah.
its
I mean,
by
okay, so
itself.
the Ninja Steel song, for as bad as the season was, I didn't mind the Ninja Steel song. It had some good chords in there. It wasn't good overall, but it had some moments I could enjoy.
Yeah, the Ninja Steel is the definition of a mid theme song
Yeah.
in my opinion. Like it's not as bad as like the Overdrive or RPM theme song, but it's also nowhere near the quality of something like the In Space or Time Force theme
Right.
songs.
But it's
Like,
on par with like um who is it on par with? Some of the Disney stuff, honestly. Like Ninja Storm, uh
Mystic
Mystic
Force.
Force. Well, I think it's better than Mystic Force. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's better than Mystic Force.
Better than
Um,
better than Overdrive by a lot. It's on par with Jungle
Overdrive is
Fury.
no. I think Jungle Fury is way better than that.
Yeah,
Jungle Fury has like a top 5 theme song, no, top 10 theme song.
yeah.
So yeah,
No, but it has like the same kind of vibe, is what I'm saying. It's more
yeah, and
poppy.
I would probably, and I mean I like it about as much as I like the toqger theme song too,
Yeah,
because I think the toqger theme song is really
I
good.
actually love the
Uh,
toqger theme song. Like I listen to that sometimes.
yeah, so do I.
So
Um,
yeah, that was pretty good. And then they also had some original music at the end. Um, when they're fighting at the end, you remember that?
I kind of do. I wasn't paying too much attention to the music, but
So
if you want to
that
talk
was
about it briefly.
sung by Charlie's actress, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
That's cool for her, man.
dude, like, right? Like these guys have so much talent. I love it. So yeah, I just want to call out that they did that. They actually released the full version of her song on their YouTube on Christmas Day, and it slaps. Okay, like it's pretty dang good.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to listen to that full theme song version then.
Yeah, definitely you got to listen to it.
Uh, but speaking of Charlie, she's probably still my favorite here. She made probably the best joke that I've ever heard. This is something where I honestly had to pause the episode because it made me laugh quite a bit. They're fighting, and Sans uh rails, which I guess like I've always figured like I guess in toqger's case like they're supposed to be the equivalent of his glasses
Hmm.
when he's in his ranger form. They go flying off, and he turns to Charlie and is like, Charlie, help me, I'm useless without my rails. And then she says, you're already useless.
I
Like,
I want to know what the
damn.
Tokuser episode was doing at that point. I forget.
It was just meant to be a comic relief moment,
Yeah.
like because it was kind of a recurring gag where Togachi's rails were constantly slipping off. It only happens to him, which is why I'm assuming that in his ranger form, his rails are his
That
glasses.
would make
And
sense.
yeah, but I don't know how Mio, because it was Mio there. I don't know how she related into that clip,
I don't know,
but
but yeah, I definitely like that a lot. That was a good joke. And then we got to talk about Faye. All right, like, dude, Faye has the most entertaining unknown backstory ever. So let's recap here for a second, Nate. In
go
episode
ahead.
1, we see Faye walking around with a garbage bag, and at first you think, oh, she's probably homeless or something. No, Homegirl has a bag of money and a trash bag that she leaves behind, and we don't know why. In the second episode, we find out that she had an ex boyfriend who she made go missing, and now she's kind of, you know, giving murder vibes. Like she's kind of taking her little wooden sword and sewing the sign of slitting her throat to threaten the team.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's later a scene where Charlie threatens San and Thomas with, if you don't start fighting now, I'm gonna throw you in Charlie's room and make you sleep there tonight. I mean, in Faye's room tonight. And you cut to Faye, and she just has like evil energy mode, and I'm like, Faye, you're supposed to be adorable and cute, but you're kind of scary, and I really love it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wanted to say, like, Faye's characterization has been fantastic as well. Like, I just love the quips we get with her.
Yeah, she would. I mean, I don't know if this was an actual Power Ranger series. I would probably put her like she could probably make a case of like being like a like already being like a top Pink Ranger because when it comes to rating Pink Rangers in both Sentai and Power Rangers, like for Sentai you have Mako and Yuri, and I personally like Boken Pink, but like I think some people will put him there. But then after that, there's kind of a huge drop off, and it's the same with Power Rangers.
I mean,
Like
excuse
you have,
me, Ahim is pretty badass. You can't deny that.
oh yeah, of course.
Okay, just saying.
With Power Rangers, Jen is obviously there.
Yeah.
Kimberly, I technically you have to say Corone. Now I'm gonna have some stuff to say about how I feel about Corone when we actually review Lost Galaxy ahead of our Ginga Man review. Now I'm not saying she's a bad character; she's still in my top 5, but I have issues with how they treat not how she is, but how the show treats her.
Yeah.
When she's a ranger, not so much her as a character. So I don't think I'm bad mouthing her. It's more that I'm bad mouthing how the show uses her, if you know what I mean.
No, that makes sense. I can see that.
But after that, like, I mean, I can't think of like other Pink Ranger. Well, okay, Amelia, but Amelia, I mean, a lot of her. Well, actually, no. Even if you take out the Cosmic Fury stuff, she's actually pretty good. So.
Amelia's a fantastic Pink. I mean, I think she's still top 5.
Yeah, but like after you get like the top 5, like maybe you could add like one other person here and there. Like you could add Shelby, but like, is anybody else like really like? Faye is already more interesting than half the Pink Ranger characters I can think of. Like I would say at least right now she's on par with someone like Kendricks from Lost Galaxy because I really like Kendricks in Lost Galaxy, but she's more interesting than Cassie. She's definitely more interesting than Dana from Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah, Dana was boring to me. I'm sorry.
More interesting than Sid or Vita from SPD and Mystic Force, respectively.
And then we're not even going to talk about Rose.
Rose doesn't deserve as much hate as the other Overdrive Rangers.
That's fair.
She's still not a great character.
Yeah. And then,
so yeah, I mean,
after that, you got the Neo Saban Pinks, which is Mia and Emma. And I don't know if I remember much about Mia, to be honest.
Shelby was pretty good.
Shelby was alright. I like her, but I think Faye has more personality in some cases there. Like, Shelby has a good story, but Faye's personality is what sells it for me, because she actually inspires, like, intrigue for me, because on one hand, this girl will go off and say, I have owies, and you think, oh, she's adorable. Next minute, she's, like, murder girl. Yeah. And you don't know what's going on with her, and it's fantastic.
Yeah. I don't want to say she's better than her Sentai. Well, maybe just the fact that she has like that murder edge to her. Maybe she's technically better than Kagura, but Kagura is still a great Pink. I don't know. Like they're both great in my opinion.
I mean, I know you haven't seen The Strongest 5 or whatever it was called, that movie, but Kagura is also pretty awesome in there.
Oh, okay, that's cool.
Yeah. So, no, I think she's a really good Pink, and briefly before I get to the next main thing I want to cover, I think Marcus and San are also still pretty awesome characters in their own regard.
Yeah. We still need to learn more about Gus, which I
Actually, I think we
think.
got more from Gus this time that I wanted to talk about. So
Yeah, I found. Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Gus in this one, um, we kind of get more of a vibe of him that he's at least sarcastically not wanting to be there, and he's being forced to do stuff. And like, I love the scene where he's just sitting in the back, watching everyone else fight, and he's like, "Yeah, go Rangers," and Charlie's like, "Get your ass out here and fight." So,
Yeah.
and like even in the train when they're talking with the conductor, Gus is very adamant that he doesn't want to be there. At one point, he says, "I hate my job," and you're starting to get his personality to come out, and I'm really liking it. Like he's the reluctant hero, and it works pretty well for him, I think.
I mean, in a lot of ways, he kind of reminds me of Zeb from Star Wars Rebels, where he's just annoyed by everything, and like half the time he talk. Maybe Zeb more in like season one, where like Zeb just is constantly rolling his eyes, talking down to everybody, and just has this overall attitude of like, "Shut up! I don't want to be here. You're all so stupid. Just
Hmm.
leave me alone. Shut up!" Like, I mean, and I like Zeb, so I'm not gonna. I'm definitely not gonna badmouth that.
Yeah, no, Zeb's amazing, but I don't know. I wouldn't say that Gus and Zeb are similar in that. Um, there is some similarity, but I think Zeb is more. He's not as comic relief when he does it. At least I don't think.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can agree with. I can attest to that.
Yeah, I
But
think.
I can't wait to see more of what they do with Gus, because if you remember, the first episode shows him pointing a gun
Yeah,
at someone like he's going crazy. So I really want to see where they're going with that.
I mean, I feel like these characters all have something a bit more psychological to them. Like Faye's a murder girl. Gus has the
Hmm.
gun thing. Um, San seems to be overly nervous about something, which I think is just a personality trait. Tomas, dude, that guy is legit Akira. Like, there's no difference there at all. But
Yeah,
Akira had that kind of same kind of thing going for him. Charlie is just super amazing. I don't need no man. I'm an independent white girl.
yeah, totally.
So I mean, no, I think these characters all have something really fun going for them.
Yeah, and I'm all for it. I can't wait until 2024 rolls around. Which, I mean, 2024 will have rolled around by the time this podcast gets posted. But I just
Yeah,
can't wait until they post the next episode.
yeah, I'm really excited, looking forward to what we get next. And yeah, I think the game plan is I've been talking to Zenith Media on Instagram, and we're gonna try and do a podcast in the early part of January, bring them on, and then we're gonna lay out a plan of doing episodes 3, 4, and 5 as they come out.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm pretty hyped. Like these guys are doing great. I still stand with my statement of Hasbro, hire some of these people to your company somehow and have them just run Power Rangers with a bigger budget. Could you imagine if these guys had the budget of like Hasbro, a multi-million-dollar company?
Hmm.
It'd be so great.
I mean, I I really I mean, I don't like to plug my own stuff, but like if I ever want, maybe not my Bioforce stuff, since that's like early stuff where I feel like I was a little too derivative. But if I ever wanted to, if I ever finish Millennium Warriors anytime soon, and I want to
Hmm.
like bring that to life on the screen, I might feel half tempted to hire Zenith Films to do that if they do
I
this type
mean,
of quality work.
dude, you said like these guys are amazing.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, in case nobody knows, I do some fan writing on the side. Like I did Power Rangers Bioforce on fan fiction, which I mean, I'm proud that I finished that. I'm not exactly as proud of it these days because I think I'm way too derivative there. But I am legitimately proud of my Millennium Warriors stuff, and I'm also going to be legitimately proud when I finish this Megaforce, uh, like this my retelling of Megaforce, which will make everybody. And if you guys read that, I can guarantee that some people will be begging to like go back in time to where I was hired by Saban, and
I mean, I'm already
I think
begging
that's
because you give the focus episodes in general, and they're really good focus episodes that you've told me about.
yeah.
I don't know if you've written them out yet, but I'm excited to see you do it.
Yeah, I'm hopefully going to get to that soon.
Yeah.
Was there anything else you wanted to bring up?
No, I think that was the end of all my stuff. Can't think of any other ways to throw us off track here.
Okay. If I pretend to be entertained by that, will you just call that a win?
I guess I can choose to do that.
Okay. Oh ha ha. Off track. Yes, that was a good pun, Riz. Ha ha ha.
Nate, you have you have 3 more episodes of me doing this, by the way.
Are
And
they going to be doing any? Are they going to be doing any more after that, or are they just going to wrap it up after that?
so okay, so here's what I know. They have a movie type thing called Gem Nights or something based off of Cure Major. Hang on, I'm looking up
Mm.
the exact name of it now. But I want to check that out at some point because that looks really good.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out after I finish Kira Major, which it might be a while till I get to that because. But yeah, I'll definitely check that out.
Yeah. Gem Paladins, sorry. Gem
Uh,
Paladins. So that's a standalone movie. I've seen some stuff about Zeozer, which if they do Zeozer, I'll be really excited because I really love that Sentai.
yeah,
So
yeah, we'll have to get back to that one to like review the whole thing at some point.
yeah, I want to finish Zeozer in a review series, and I also want to get us back onto Go Buster at some point.
Yeah, we'll be doing Go Buster soon.
Yeah, we have to for the Kobayashi thing.
Yeah, but yeah, okay, that's cool. I mean, Zenith Films. Whatever you have going for Rail Riders. If you decide to just wrap it up in like 6 episodes, like you take the end, like you show the last episode and like conclude the story with that. I mean, if that's how you do it, I mean, that's great. I mean, because I like what you're doing so far. I really don't have any complaints about this. Like, you guys just keep doing your thing.
Yeah, y'all stay on the straight and narrow track and keep going.
I'm just gonna pretend like I didn't hear that. uh,
You know my puns are very conductive, right? To getting this podcast to be more entertaining.
was the conductive?
Yes.
Was that another? Have you ever been? Have you ever been to Disney World and been on their Jungle Cruise ride?
No, I haven't been to Disney World since before you could walk probably.
Okay, because they do a bunch of like dad jokes in that thing. Like, you should totally just be a skipper there. Like, just the kind of thing where like when people are getting on the boats, be like, "I hope you guys know what you're getting yourselves into." That's right, a boat. Like
Nice. I like it.
something like that.
I'll become friends with him instantly. It'll be great.
Yeah. We are recording this at the very end of 2024,
2023.
2023. Sorry. And yeah, we do apologize for getting behind a little bit with Time Ranger. We've just both Riz and I have had a really difficult month. I don't even want to.
Nope.
I don't even want to talk about
Nope.
how bad
Nope. We're not going
this
there.
month is. But we still have this podcast, and we really appreciate all you guys giving us the support. Again, we've hit 1,000 subs on YouTube. We really appreciate that. Our numbers are up on Spotify. Like we just love all you guys. You guys
Yeah.
have given us a lot of the support, And we appreciate both Carl Dutton with Scyther Inc. and Zenith Films and their people. Like, we appreciate these connections that we've built. We are going to have Carl on and the Zenith Film people on individual podcasts. Like, we just really appreciate all these connections that we've built, and we're hoping to build ourselves up even more in the next year of 2024. And we hope to have you guys along for the ride. And I'll just consider that my train pun for the podcast. Okay, whatever.
You gotta train harder to get on my level.
Okay, that was actually pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that's about it. When we record next time, we'll have Anthony and Patrick on to do our next 2 Time Ranger ones. The everything leading up to the in-game arc, then the in-game arc. Then we're going to do our Time Force review. And then we're going to follow that up with the very first Sentai versus Power Rangers Versus special, where we pit Time Force and Time Ranger against each other. I'm really looking forward to that, since we've finally reviewed a Sentai where it and its Sentai Power Rangers counterpart are about on par, or at least good enough to be like compared to each other.
Yeah.
And after that, we'll reveal the rest of our schedule for after that.
Only time will tell.
Yeah, totally. With that said, we thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, leave comments down below with either your thoughts on Rail Riders or anything you want us to review, and we'll give your comments shout outs at the beginning of our podcast when that time comes. If you're listening to this on Spotify or iTunes, give us a review, and you can reach out to us at animesecrets.org to give us feedback in the same way. Give us a rating out of 5, or however the rating system works on iTunes. I'm not sure how that works. And check us out on our social media pages on Anime Secrets: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all those pages, and our website. And that's about it. Once again, we thank you guys so much for taking the time to listen to our Rail Riders podcast. And we will be doing Rail Riders episode 3 when it comes out. And we'll see you guys next time with Anthony and Patrick on with us as we take a look at Time Ranger once again. But until that time, you guys stay safe. Have a happy new year. We love you, and may the power protect you.